Hi everyone, so welcome back. Yeah, it's a late video for me, I know, but hey, what can I say? Traveler44 here anyway. Hope you're having a great day, evening or night so far. So before I get into the content of the video, of course, I am going to be giving away a Sky Blue Interstellar 250 subscribers. I'm actually near 200, so I think currently, last time I checked, I think I've been about 52 subscribers more, and I actually then can do a draw for the Sky Blue Interstellar. It's a very nice decal. It goes with pretty much any car. You can paint it how you want, and of course you can change the colours, so you can do lots of things with it, and then you've got a choice of really pretty much to either keep it or sell it, do whatever you need to, and absolutely fine. All you need to do to be entered, of course, is be subscribed to the channel. You do need to turn notifications on and leave a comment with your ID if you haven't before, and if you guys could actually leave a like on my video, just to help out. The more people who see it, the more chance I can speed up and actually get to 250 subscribers quicker. I know a lot of people don't leave likes on my video, and it would be really appreciated. It really does help, and of course the sooner I can give this out to one of you lucky winners, that would be amazing. Thank you very much for that. So in yesterday's video, of course, we spoke about certs and their values to a degree, but this time I want to give some examples and talk a bit more in depth about it. I couldn't cover it in one video, so I knew it was going to be one of those things that did kind of carried on over maybe 2 or 3 parts. It's a very vast subject, and probably even then I couldn't cover it all for you because it's just so much to it, and there's so many varying factors. So I just want to try and keep it as simple and as reasonable as possible, give you some demonstrations. Okay, so basically, as you can see in the background here, this is a guy doing a trade with me for the Striker Orange Emerald wheels. Now, if you look at the values of the wheels just normally without any cert whatsoever, you are looking around 900 to 1100, somewhere in that value, purely because that is non-certed normal wheels. They've dropped a lot in value at the moment, and until they kind of go up a little bit and get a little bit rarer, a little bit less demanded, of course it's going to be a big difference. Now you can sort of see that basically, although the guy really did try to push for a lot higher a price than ever he should have, and he was one of those guys that really nice, but he was trying to get the highest value he could. Basically I ended up paying 3,000, so basically 3 times the value. 900, if you said 1,000 averagely, I ended up paying 3,000 purely to have a Striker cert on it. But realistically for me, it's not really an investment. I'm not thinking of selling them. I knew that I was going to keep them and that they're going to be used on plenty of cars, so it was kind of like a long-term thing that I knew I would be using and wasn't going to trade or get rid of. Now with the same guy, I also then bought the purple emeralds as well. So purple emeralds range somewhere in the region of about 1,500 to 1,700, somewhere in that, and I ended up paying 4,600. Now, if I'm being honest, I think I did pay a little over probably the value of these things, but then again, it's also rarity. He was the only guy at the time that I purchased these actually that was advertising Striker purples, and again, I knew I'd use them, so I ended up buying them. And he did try and push me up to 5k. I refused, and eventually he kind of backed down and said, alright, 4,600. In the end, I had to tell him that they were the only credits I had, which I kind of had a bit more at the time, but realistically, it's like, well, how far does that go? Now, in this trade, what I did is that this one was for a Meteor Storm purple to go with one of my cars with score on it. Now, score does normally add a little bit extra. I mean, you probably could pick up a normal, non-certed one for maybe around 1,100, something like that. So technically, this guy was selling for about 1,200, extra 100, and it's got a scorer cert, which is pretty good. Value-wise, that's really decent because it's a good cert, very easy to level up. It's just scoring goals like you would anyway, and of course, you're getting actually a certification, and it's one of the better ones as well, as I mentioned on my previous rankings. So this one was a good deal. He didn't ask for an extortionate price. If I tried to sell it now, I probably could get at least 1,300, 1,350 for it quite easily. But as I plan to keep it, I don't think I'll be doing that. But again, these are always options in case I get bored of the items and things like that. So really, this is kind of just to give an idea that, certs do make a difference to your values, but they do determine, depending on the item you're buying. I mean, if you take that purple Meteor Storm, it added about 100 value on it, if that. And that was a good price. Maybe it would be at a push if the seller was trying to push it for 1,200, 1,250, compared to sort of the 1,100. Again, not a bad one because of the extra cert. It is actually decent, and you're not sort of really having to push to do anything different than scoring goals. which is something you're doing anyway. Now, as you can sort of see, I mean, like with the Emerald Striker adds a lot of value to bigger items. Now, as I said in yesterday's video, you know, if you're looking at like little clockwork wheels, gurnots, things like that, very nice, you know, equipment, very nice wheels, very nice stuff. You're just going to be like, literally, it doesn't matter though, because realistically you're not going to pay as much, but you go emeralds and the value shoots up. Now obviously I suppose it's subject to rarity, to how availability, you know, how available is that item. Now as I kind of said, I mean, with the emeralds, one of the reasons I paid a much higher value compared to what I probably could have paid if I'd have waited, maybe possibly I could have, you know, paid less. But because it was the only one available at the time in orange and purple, I paid extra because it's rare, I can't get it anywhere else, it was the only one on PS4 at the time, and I'm going to pay whatever price he wants. I haven't got much selection. So there's kind of things to be aware of. I mean, honestly, I would definitely say that with certifications, you really want to be aware of, you know, what exactly do you need. Are you going to, you know, spend money on something that maybe you won't use? Or are you going to sort of like spend money on something that maybe perhaps, you know, the value of it isn't worth that? And it's kind of hard with this. I mean, if it's an investment and you're just looking for a good value, you've really got to just look for the good deals. And that is something that, again, is difficult to do. A lot of people do know what they're worth. A lot of people will ask for extra. But you do get sometimes ones that, you know, people just don't know the values of them. They're newer players, and you know, and it's not an unfair thing. I mean, okay, realistically, if someone asks for a price and you just so happen to pay it and agree it, and they're happy with it, why not? I mean, profit is there to be made with these things. And certs are definitely a good value. Sometimes things will go up as well, and you know that you can just almost sense that you're going to get extra value, especially if you're looking at those high-end certs that are very easy to level up. Striker and Tactician and all those ones I mentioned in my previous video are basically popular because they are easy to level up. They require less skill, and there are a lot of new players out there, so why not take advantage and get the best thing that you possibly can. Now, before I continue, of course, thank you very much for anyone watching this far. I know that you probably know roughly around the timeline I'm doing it, so, of course, there are some of you I'm sure could be skipping to this, and I can't do anything about that. But anyway, regardless. So basically, I'm giving away these Pyros inverted wheels to one lucky winner. If there is a winner that isn't on PlayStation, ends up being PC or Xbox, don't worry, you're still entered, it's fine. I'll just give you something of the equivalent value. They currently go for around 1 to 2k, so I'd work it out and make it as fair as possible for you. So the person with the most points by the 4th of May will be crowned the winner and will of course get their prize. So good luck to all of you there. So today's question is about yesterday's video. Basically, I spoke about some wheels that I had, inverted wheels, grip stites. Basically, what I want you to tell me is that if you can tell me what colour they are, the cert that was on them, and the price they paid, then of course you will get a point. Now, it is mentioned all at the same time, so don't worry, it's not all separate in the video or anything silly. What I'm going to do is I'm writing down all the answers that people are giving. If you can comment it on any other video, like a much older video of mine, then that way I can see it, but no one else can see the answers, so then that way no one else can cheat and just kind of look at the comments and work out the answers from there and give themselves a chance of being picked as well. But again, thank you very much for watching my videos. It's great, and I just want to give something back. But again, as I say, this is courtesy of Clint and Hayden, so thank you very much to them again for giving me a chance to give these away for free for you. Right, well, let's get back into the rest of the video. So the next part is talking about with Striker, Tactician, Scorer, Victor, all those type of certs. One thing to really point out as well is it is going to depend massively on the colour that you're choosing. So if you really are one of those ones who wants to go for the very best colours, titanium white, crimson, sky blue, you are in most cases going to pay a lot more than you would if you were going for, say, you know, burnt sienna, pink. I know orange isn't the most popular colour, although it is pretty cool. Purple's kind of in the middle. Forest green and saffron are considered quite bottom tier as well, and they are obviously going to make quite a level and big difference. So just bear in mind that that is a big thing. Now, I'm going to give a couple of demonstrations. So I've been recently looking at a solar flare, global explosion in painted. Now, say for example I wanted a sky blue solar flare, no cert on it. I am looking at around 600. Now, to be honest, the certed ones are very rare on the app, so I only saw one with Aviator, which was around about 800, so it added about 200 roughly onto the value, but it wasn't that much considering, and to be fair, I don't really care about Aviator, I'd rather have goals or weight sort of thing. And I saw a purple one with Playmaker on there as well, actually for 600, which hopefully I'm going to get, because again, I do use purple, I think it looks clean, and I think that is a really, really good opportunity. But then if you're looking at, say, titanium white, the normal value probably in the region of about maybe 1800. You probably could get it a bit less if you're lucky, but the minute you add striker on there, because there's only one guy that's got a striker certed titanium white solar flare, he is now asking for 4,000. So it is basically, bottom line is that because of the rarity, because of he's the only one, he can kind of get away with asking whatever price he wants. And of course, you either pay it or you don't. Now, obviously, a big thing is make sure that you are really sort of like wanting that particular cert, because I tell you what, it's all very well, but if you don't, or you're not going to use that item enough, you're paying way extra to having that. And yes, it is nice, it is a novelty, sure, but there are so many times that I have bought things where realistically I could have just not bothered because I don't use the items enough, and it is hard trying to use so many items, and I know that it depends on situation and things like that, but it is well worth bearing in mind. Now, with anything in sort of like the value, I would say that most definitely, sort of regarding anything to do with sort of lower tier, they're not going to make so much difference. It's the bigger tiers that really are. And, I would say that definitely, the mid-range ones, Goalkeeper, Playmaker, they are good, but the problem is that, especially Playmaker, this is probably the biggest one. I really would love to see a change with that, where basically they just pretty much kind of change it so that if you touch the ball, you did give some sort of what classifies as a kind of a pass, you are able then to actually kind of, do it and it helps out, because I tell you what, honestly, it's really frustrating when you kind of you just basically you do a good pass and it doesn't count because the ball part bounced one or two times. So I'd love to see a bit more consistency. It might see the value of the cert go up, it might see a little bit of a change there, but these are sort of things to bear in mind. Now, obviously, as I said, I mean, as regards to the amount of content, it is really hard to give everything, even in this video, because there's just so many examples. It's so vast. There's so much to it. But, this is kind of like a sort of a guideline. Hopefully it's helpful. I mean, let me know. I mean, have I covered the things that maybe you would like to know, or did I miss something? Let me know. I'm absolutely happy to be told that I missed something out, I got something wrong, or whatever, because that's just the way that we learn and it gets better. So let me know in the comments, but I hope you found it informative, enjoyable, and useful in some way. If you did, a like on the video is really helpful. I can't stress enough how much that helps get the content noticed, and the sooner I can get to 250 subscribers, the better, because we get nearer to that giveaway, of course, for the Sky Blue Interstellar. But otherwise, that is it from today's content, so like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.